So, I know I'm an idiot for falling for my baby daddy. That is what it is. Yes, this video is probably going to include crying, so swipe away if you don't want to hear it. But I know I'm an idiot. And before you say, oh, this, that, no, I knew he was a whore. And I liked him because of it. And I knew, like, for the first year that it wasn't anything serious. Until he started saying, I'm not hiding you anymore, I'm not doing this anymore, come over, my family's here, like, come over, stuff like that. And then he's the one who brought up the dates, and he's the one who said I love you first and all of that. He's the one who told me to stop birth control or not be on birth control. All of it. So, yeah, I was stupid because I knew what he was, but I also wanted to be loved. When he first ended things, and he didn't really talk to me the whole weekend. He sent me money for food, which was nice, but it was random. And I said thank you, and you're so sweet, and I never, like, nobody ever does that for me, thank you. And I texted him Saturday and Sunday. I didn't get a response. I think it was Monday and Sunday night. I texted him something, and I was like, hey, are you okay? He said, we really gotta talk. Initially, we had planned for me to come over that Tuesday to talk, but I was like, this doesn't sound, I texted him, I said, this doesn't sound good. Are you ending this? He said it's not good. So I asked him to just call me. And he did, he called me. Where he told me that he's gotta change a lot of stuff and blah blah blah. And I was like, me thinking like he's just struggling mentally and I can be there for him. No, he got someone else pregnant. So we're having this conversation and I'm trying so hard not to cry on the phone with him because I don't ever want to cry in front of him. Like, you hurt me, you don't deserve my tears. So he tells me that, and he's like, I'm so sorry, I ruined the best thing with the only woman that's ever treated me right. And he's saying all the things you want to hear, right? And I was still supposed to come over to get some stuff I had left there the next day. But I couldn't. I physically couldn't. I couldn't bring myself to do it. I told him to just throw the stuff out. It wasn't important. And then I did text him a couple times because I'm pathetic. I'm pathetic. It's truly what it is. I'm pathetic. 6 weeks pass, and I find out I'm pregnant. So I tell him, I send him a text message of the pregnancy test that came back positive. And apparently he deleted my number, which I understand. And he's like, I had to figure out who it was. How many bitches are you knocking up? Like, but he, obviously I don't think he believed it. And that's fine, it's whatever. But after confirmation, ultrasound, I sent him pictures and I sent him the heartbeat. All of it. He treated me like shit. He's still treating me like shit this entire pregnancy. But he admitted that he never gave a fuck about me. I was told a couple times by several doctors that I might not make it to my second trimester. And at 11 weeks, I texted him something. I was like, I really need you to call me because I don't know how this is gonna work. Because I found out that he moved in with the girl and she probably was never pregnant in the first place, honestly, but I found out that he told me that he moved in with her and that he loves her and that's his, like, wife. Or his soon-to-be wife, whatever. So at 11 weeks, he calls me, and we start talking, and he's telling me that he doesn't know what I want. I don't know he's like, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know. Sounds like you want me to choose you and my son over her. I'm like, no, I don't. I want you to choose your son. He already put her over his son multiple times. He threw a fit that my ultrasound was on her birthday. And how am I supposed to know it was on her birthday? But I needed an emergency visit with an ultrasound, OB appointment. And during the phone call, he says something, and I said, I wish it was as easy for me to just go back. And he said, yeah, go back to being a whore. And he started going on, and he was like, that's why I never gave a fuck about you. He said a bunch of other things, but I think I had blacked out. Like, mentally, I couldn't focus. So I just told him that I needed to get off the phone. I needed to get back to work. I just wanted him to say that he was going to be there for our baby, because we didn't know the gender at the time. I didn't want him. I just wanted him to tell me that it was like he was going to be there for the baby, because he hadn't shown any proof that he would be. And the past couple of months have still been shitty. I'm 31 weeks now, and he seems to get bothered every time I text him. He seems to be annoyed, and I don't text him like frivolously, like, hey, how's your day? Oh my god, stuff like that. I only text him when it comes to the baby. Like, when it's doctor's appointment stuff, I'll text him, or if I'm like going to the emergency room, I'll text him, because I've been to the emergency room a couple times because I've been bleeding or in a lot of pain, or I passed out and I fell on my fucking stomach, and we were on pretty good terms. And when I fell on my stomach and I called him and I told him, he had no intention of coming to the emergency room at all, and I was there for 24 hours. I was crying, I was telling him I was alone, but he still didn't give a fuck. He's like, why do you go alone? Who's supposed to go with me? Who's supposed to go with me? A 12-year-old? He literally suggested my 12-year-old. Like, what? And it just seems like texting him is such a burden. And I'm so, like, as I get further and further into this pregnancy, I'm so afraid of him. Like, I'm not afraid that he's gonna hurt me physically or hurt our son physically. I'm afraid that he's just not gonna be there. And I tell my son every night that mommy and daddy love him, and mommy and daddy will be there as he gets bigger and he grows and he sees all of it. And I don't say any, when I'm venting, I do, but when I'm talking to him, I don't say anything bad. I tell him that his daddy made me feel safe. But his mind always jumps to me saying negative things about him to the baby, and I don't do that. I would never. It's not who I am as a person. I don't even tell my 12-year-old the truth about her bio mom, who was trash. But I've been trying to, since before I found out I was pregnant, move on, find someone else to just talk to, and it's impossible. Men go so fast. Women go so fast. And if you're not willing to fuck them in the first 5 minutes, they don't want to have a conversation with you, and I can't have sex during this pregnancy. So it's like not even worth it for men to even conversate with me. It just doesn't feel worth it anymore. Trying. I mean, I know I'm not good enough to be loved, so